Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachariya. Yamunatira Vanachariya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamunatira Vanachariya. Yamunatira Vanachariya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. So I'm going to read from Bhagavad Gita as it is. 8th chapter, Attaining the Supreme, text 5. It's one of my favorite verses. So. Antakale chamameva smaram muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nasti yatra samshaya. Translation. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Purport. In this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also the purest of the pure. The word smaran, remembering, is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya has advised that one be as tolerant as a tree, Tarot Iva Sahishnuna. There may be so many impediments for a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, Krishna is promising here that at the end of our life, when we are quitting our body, if we can remember Him alone, that's the secret. He doesn't say, okay, you can remember me, but if you can also remember your grandmother, your friend, and your wife. No, He said, me alone. Krishna wants exclusivity. He doesn't want to be shared. Completely focused, Why Krishna is speaking like that? Because Krishna is the origin of everything. He's our best friend. He doesn't want to see us suffering in this world. Who can deny there is suffering in this world? Nobody wants to become sick or old or die. That's the nature of this world. You can't avoid it. There's no way to avoid it. The only way to avoid it is to become Krishna conscious, so that at the end of life we have more chances to remember Krishna. That's the idea. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kaumara acharet pragyo. From the beginning of life, be Krishna conscious. Look for the true. But, most of us, we came in touch with Krishna consciousness when we are already grown up. But the process is so potent, spiritually potent, that can change the mentality of anyone. Even the biggest materialistic person can be changed, can have a change of heart. That's a fact. And why is that powerful? Because Krishna's name are none different from Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said that Krishna has invested all his potencies, all his power in his holy name. And there are no hard rules to chant it. It's not that you wake up and first you have to brush your teeth before chanting. No. As soon as you wake up, even in bed, you can chant Hare Krishna. It is advisable, actually. So that you free yourself from the ignorance of sleep and remember Krishna. That's the way to remember Krishna every moment. Then when you get up from bed, there's a mantra in the Vedas offering prayers to Mother Earth. asking forgiveness for stepping on it in that day. Anybody remembers the mantra? How the first word? I say it every day. I need to remember the first word. Samudra vasane devi parvatastana mandite Vishnu patni namastubhyam padasparsha samaswame. Dear Mother Earth, you are surrounded by oceans and decorated with beautiful mountains, and you are the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Please forgive me for stepping on you on this day. And then you get up with your right foot. You know, in Mexico, people have a saying, if any given day things go wrong, people say, oh, I got up with the left foot. So, this thing's coming from the Vedas, of course, I mean to say. Even when you see the sun, there is a mantra to offer obeisance to the sun. We of course, we do it from Brahma Samhita. Yachakshuresha savita sakalagrahanam raja samasta murti rashesha teja yasyagya brahmati samrita kalachakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. You are the source of all power, light and heat for the all universe, and you are the eye of the Lord. Govinda is the origin of all power, and everything is coming from him. And the sun is getting his power from that, from the spiritual effulgence that comes from Lord Krishna's body. It's Brahma Jyoti, it's called. So, do you know that the NASA was recording the sound of different planets? I don't know if you heard about it. And they recorded the sound of the sun planet. Of course, they have to adjust the frequency so human ear can hear it. You know, usually it's not possible, but they have to do some, technical things to be able for humans to hear it. And I saw it on YouTube, and you know what the sound comes from the sun? And repeatedly chanting, okay, the sun is Hindu. Hare Krishna. So, I mean, we have to understand we are in this universe for a purpose. There is a purpose behind creation. For example, these symbols here, they have a shape. You can see the shape, and a design, and you can see it has a purpose, which is to make sound, isn't it? And to chant along with it, And the Shastra said that when you play the kartal 3 times like this, no more birth and death, no more birth and death. Three times you play it together, no more birth and death. It's a fact. So, because we are not, why nobody likes to die? Because we are eternal spirit souls. It's not natural for us to experience death. We are not meant to live 70 or 100 years. We are meant to live forever. And the process to achieve that is to be fully Krishna conscious. So at the time of death, while quitting our body, we just remember Krishna alone. Krishna promised, He will attain me without fail. So that's the secret of solving all problems in life, People are very much interested to solve problems, They go to psychologists, they go to this, counselors, this, that. But at the end, what are the real problems of life are? Birth death, old age, and disease. Jamma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha nudarshanam. An intelligent person always remembers that these four things are always there. And instead of wasting time with so many nonsense things, try to, because nowadays, the entertainment industry is very huge, very big, multi-million dollars, industry, because everybody is bored and need to be entertained. So people try to look for entertainment to forget their problems for a while or something. But actually, human life is not meant to be entertained, but to concentrate. To concentrate. Of course, entertainment can be spiritual also. If you watch something related to Krishna and his devotees, then you can focus your mind in that way, So we have to find a way, somehow or other, to remember Krishna and never forget him. That's essentially speaking, the object or the subject of all rules and regulation. Then why it is said twice? To always remember Krishna implies not to forget him, but it is no. Remember always Krishna and don't forget him. To make it more emphasized that it's so important. So in the verse, Prabhupada is saying that for a soul who hasn't practiced Krishna consciousness in life, it's not possible to remember the Lord at the time of death. Because generally what we remember at the time of death is what we like more, or attachment, We love our family, our friend, or this, that, So naturally we'll remember those things, Remember the story of Ajamila? He was very attached to his son Narayan. So at the time of death, he remembered his son because he was very attached to him. And he called out his name, Narayan, Narayan. Because the Yamadutas, the agents of the Lord of Death, Yamaraj, came to take him away to hell. I remember once I had an interview in Spain. They invited different religious groups, and they invited us to speak philosophy, what is life about? And the question came out about hell. Do you believe in hell? Yes, everybody believes in hell. But I said, we have a difference from the rest of you about hell. Yeah, we know there is hell, but we don't agree that it is for eternality. No, we don't agree with that. Because then God will not be all merciful to give another chance to somebody who's very sinful, to give him another opportunity. Even in human laws, nobody goes to jail forever. Not everybody. Some people may, but majority of people, they go for some years, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and they go out. The majority, isn't? So in the same way, why God will be not just and merciful with the souls and not send them to hell forever? If God is known in origin as all merciful, in Arabic it is said Rahman ar-Rahim, is the most merciful. So how is that he can, suppose a young man, he's very sinful and die young and goes to hell forever. No more opportunities to rectify himself or no second chances. Doesn't look like very kind or merciful from God to do that. So I told them that is it possible, that after a person pay for his sins, get another chance? And that's why reincarnation is important to understand. Once in Texas, I was talking to a pastor, evangelical pastor, and in the conversation, he agreed with me that, yes, unless we understand karma, reincarnation, there is no way to explain the problems of the world. Because, like, some religion believe that this is the first life we have. There is only one life, and that's it. In this life, you may go heaven or hell. There is no life before. So I tell them, if this is the first life, then God is very much unjust. So why some people are born and rich and beautiful and healthy and educated, and some people poor and sick and ignorant? Why God does give better treatment to some than others? They can't answer that. Of course, sometimes they say, well, God is testing us. Like He tested Job, you know. You know the story of Job in the Bible? He was swallowed by a whale, and he didn't die. He went through so many difficulties because God was testing him to see if he doesn't lose faith in Him, no matter what. Well, I mean to say the Pandavas also went through so many difficulties, isn't it? I mean to say their wife was insulted, they were cheated out of their kingdom, they have to go to the forest for 12 years, you know. So much hardship. Still, they never gave up their love and faith in Krishna. Why? What kind of hypnotism Krishna had that his devotees, no matter what, never gave up on Him? Never give up on Him. Because Krishna likes to glorify His pure devotees. When they pass through the test and they remain faithful to Him, then they become more glorious, you know. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, my dear Lord Krishna, the difficulties I have to undergo in trying to serve you are a source of great happiness to me. Because our faith is being tested that way. Krishna doesn't like his devotee to be easygoing, you know. From time to time, He put them to test to see how much love and faith they have in Him, you know. So, of course, devotees understand when they are going through difficult times in life that is also Krishna's mercy. Tatte nukampam shushamikshama bunjana vatma kritam vipakam hridvapapurhir vidhan namaste jiveta som muktipade sadayavak. That the devotees, or those who are aspiring to be devotees at least, they know that because of my past misdeed, I should be suffering even more. But since I'm trying to be Krishna conscious, Krishna is so kind, He's diminishing what I actually deserve. He's getting me much less. Suppose a poor man get a ticket, you know. So you go to the judge, $500. Dear Mr. Judge, I am jobless. I have 5 kids. I have no money. No, please help me. I can't pay that much money. Otherwise, I will starve, and my children will starve also. And the judge, soft-hearted, he said, "Okay, pay only 50." He was supposed to pay 500, but okay, pay only 50. May happen sometime, things like that, you know. So in the same way, I mean, in the material sense, people, when things go well, that's due to my intelligence, my ability. But when things go wrong, God is not helping me. But the devotee think the other way around. When things go well, thanks Krishna, you know, I don't deserve this, but He's so kind, you know. And when things go wrong, I deserve even more suffering because of my past misdeeds. But Krishna is so kind, He's giving me only a token. So different kind of mentalities, you know. So we will be tested throughout our life in different situations. And we should always try to remain faithful to Krishna, you know, don't forgetting Him. That He's our best friend. There is no better friend than Krishna. Because He wants the best for us. And what is the best for us? Eternal, happy, blissful life. What is better than that? In His company. Why we're rotting in this material world looking for so-called happiness? Come to me, be happy forever. Why you're wasting your time trying to find water in the desert? Sometime an animal get lost in the desert and die out of thirst. Suppose a man is also looking for water in the desert. But water there is, but not in the desert. He's looking in the wrong place. There is water in the forest, waterfalls and, rivers and things. The same way people look, everybody's looking to be happy. Nobody's looking for suffering. Isn't it? But people don't know where the real happiness is. Once a reporter asked Prabhupada, Master, what is the goal of life? Prabhupada said, the goal of life is to enjoy. Wow. How can a guru say something like that? But Prabhupada said, but you don't know where the real enjoyment is. You think enjoyment is in this and that and, drinking, smoking, having sex. You think that is happiness. But that's your foolishness, because no amount of material pleasure can give happiness, real happiness to the soul. The soul needs a spiritual happiness, because the soul is spiritual, so it needs something from its own nature, So the three needs we have material needs, of course, eating, sleeping, partner, and defending. And since we are not the body, we are spirit soul, then what are the needs of the soul? The soul has three needs: spiritual shelter, a spiritual pleasure, and a spiritual food, nourishment. The same way the body needs food to nourish, to keep healthy. The same way the soul, to remain healthy, needs to be nourished. And that's his means to listen to Hari Katha, Krishna Katha. Listen, topics about Krishna. There are two topics about Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaking, that's Krishna Katha, and Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna, and about his relationship with his pure devotees. That's also another type of Krishna Katha. So both things can be done, Prabhupada said that in old times, when he was a child, most family will come together in the evening and read Mahabharata or Ramayana, was like a natural custom. Most Indian family will do that, come together and have a reading and, and go to bed remembering the Lord and his pastimes. So that's very, very important. Even great kings used to do that. They will, before going to sleep, they will call musicians and they will come and start chanting shlokas from Mahabharata, Ramayana, like that, So they will go remembering Krishna. So, and the beginning of the day, one also, beginning, middle, and the end of the day. One should try always remember Krishna, never forget him. Once Narad Muni went to visit Krishna in Dwarka. And he asked him, my dear Krishna, you have so many nice devotees. I would like to meet one of them, householders, regular devotees, Krishna said, yes, of course, but we have to go in disguise, so you will not recognize us. Yeah, sure, let's do it. So they disguised themselves, and they went, and this devotee was a farmer. He had a wife, 2 kids, So when they arrived in the evening, the sun was setting, and the devotee was finishing his work, and at the same time he was chanting, Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, chanting the names of the Lord. So he welcomed them. Oh, we are pilgrims and we are passing through here. Can we stay the night at your home? Oh, please do. Yeah, of course. My pleasure, That's called atiti. Unexpected guest, they consider as God, as good as God. Because you don't know, God may come in disguise because of this story, because of this lila, So, and he offered them dinner, of course, I mean, he was a poor man. Whatever he will get for the day, that's it, So his wife cooked just dinner for the whole family, 2 kids and the husband and herself. That's it. That's the food only for that purpose. And the man gave his food to his guest. So they ate, and he came back. Will you like some more? Yes, please. We are very hungry. We haven't eaten all day. So he goes to his wife and asks her, dear wife, can you please give your food to our guests? They are very hungry and they are pilgrims. Yes, of course, my dear husband. One night going without food is no big deal, We want to please the Lord by pleasing those guests, So they ate that also. And after a while, the family will not eat until the guests finish eating, of course. That's the custom, You don't eat at the same time. So he went back to them and asked, are you still hungry? Yes, we are very hungry. Sorry, we feel ashamed to tell you that, but we are still very hungry. So he went to his 2 kids and asked them, will you sacrifice your own food for the night for our guest, please? And Krishna and Narad Muni was overhearing, the conversation. There's a small house, everything can be heard. So they hear that the children were telling their parents that our guests are sent by God. So it is our duty and purpose of our life to please God by pleasing His devotees. And these 2 people are pilgrims going, visiting holy places. What is the big deal to sacrifice 1 meal in the night? It's no big deal. Please, dear father, mother, give them our food. Very gladly we give it to them, So Narada and Krishna hear that, and Krishna told Narada, see how faithful they are, how renounced they are. Oh yes, they are wonderful devotees, So they gave their food to them. And next morning, they took their rest. Next morning, they were gonna go, and they saw the devotee, at sunrise working, the land, and he was chanting the names of Krishna, Hey Gopal, Hey Govinda. So Narad Muni approached him and asked him, how many times in a day you remember the Lord? You chant His glories. And the devotee said, well, every time I can, while I'm doing my duties, daily duties, I do it, every time I can. All right, very nice, thank you. And then when they left, Narad told Krishna, my dear Krishna, that's a very nice family devotees, I'm impressed by their love and devotion. But he said that only remembers you once in a while and while doing his duties. But I remember you all the time. So Krishna wanted to put Narada to test. Okay, Narada, I know you are fully surrendered to me. Are you willing to do something I'm going to ask you? Yes, whatever you ask me, Krishna, I will do it. Very good. You see that mountain there? Yes, like 5 miles away. Okay, here is a pot full of ghee. Big pot. You have to put it on your head and go to that mountain and come back without letting 1 drop of ghee fall from the pot. Can you do that for me? Sure, Krishna, whatever you ask me, I will do it. So Narada did that, went to the mountain, came back, took him some time. So Krishna was waiting. And he said to Krishna, Krishna, I am successful. Not even a drop of ghee fell from the pot. Oh, that's very nice, Narada. And while doing that, how many times do you remember me? Oh, not even once. I was so aware that no drop will fall from the pots. See, Krishna told him, those who are struggling in life and still can remember me from time to time, they are glorious, So Narada understood that it's not good to be proud, This reminds me of the story of when Lord Ramchandra was building the bridge, to rescue his wife Sita from the demon Ravan. All the monkeys were throwing big stones to make the bridge, and one squirrel was also trying to help, putting some little stones there, And Hanuman was bringing big stones, And but the squirrel will be in his way sometimes. He get upset. Oh, get out my way, You're disturbing my... But Ramchandra chastised Hanuman. No. The service of the squirrel is as good as your service because she's doing the best she can to serve me. So don't be proud like that, Hanuman apologized to the squirrel. And Lord Ramchandra passed 2 fingers in the back of the squirrel and 2 white lines were left there. There are some squirrels who have, in their back 2 white lines. That's from the hand of Lord Ramchandra. Anyway, so Ramchandra told Hanuman, why you don't bring a mountain and we finish this very fast? Oh yes, let me look for mountains. So Hanuman went to Vrindavan and saw the Govardhan hill. So wow, this big mountain will finish immediately the bridge. And he tried to lift it. He could not. So this must be very, very great personality. Let me worship it first by circumambulating parikrama around it. Then I ask the mountain to come with me. So he did that. And he prayed to the mountain, Govardhan, my dear Govardhan, I need you to come with me to make a bridge for the Lords so he can rescue his dear wife Sita. Please, can you come? Oh, yes, I want to come. I want to serve my Lord. Take me immediately away with you. So who was the first person to do Govardhan Parikrama? Hanuman. He was the first person to do Govardhan Parikrama. Anyway, but as soon as he's trying to lift it, Lord Ramchandra's voice was heard in the sky. Hanuman, we finished the bridge. No need to bring any mountains. Come immediately. And Govardhan was lamenting, oh no, I lost my chance to serve my Lord. How is it possible? And the Lord spoke to Govardhan. Be patient, Govardhan. I will come at Dwapara Yuga. We will have many pastimes. You will do a lot of service to me. Be pacified. Be patient. So, when Krishna left Vrindavan, one of his friends, Sridham, he climbed a big, tall tree. He told Krishna, I will wait for you to come back. I will see you coming back from the top of that tree. But if you don't come, I will jump from that tree. No, please don't speak like that. I will come. I'm sure I will come. Of course, Krishna did come back to Vrindavan, but after many years, like 100 years, or so. But when Lord, and one devotee, to remember that past time, he put a statue of Sridham on the top of a tree at the time of Lord Chaitanya. So when Lord Chaitanya went for the first time to Vrindavan, he saw that statue on a tree of Sridham. He said, Sridham, I came back for you. When Lord Chaitanya went to Vrindavan the first time, he asked the people, which forest is Vrindavan? Nobody knew. There are 12 forests, And Lord Chaitanya discovered which of the forests was Vrindavan by a tree. He saw an Imli Tala, tamarind tree, that Radha and Krishna used to meet under that tree. Mm-hmm. And sometime Krishna will be waiting for Radharani to come under that tree, and she will be a little late, so he become absorbed in thinking of her, and his blue body become golden like Radha. No? So Lord Chaitanya sat under that tree in the mood of Radha, and remembering Krishna, his golden body became bluish. So I was fortunate enough to see that tree alive many years ago, and there are devotees, pujaris there, and they gave me a piece of wood from that tree that fell from the tree. So, I mean, everything related to the Lord is blissful. You know, when the gopis were singing the glories of Lord Krishna, Balaram's blue dress became white, and the Yamuna river became milk, and the gopis were churning. So everything becomes clean and beautiful and purified by hearing the glories of the Lord. In the same way, if we every day of our life chant the names of the Lord, hear about His teaching and pastimes, our heart also, our mind become purified. And by doing so, we have more chances that at the time of death we will be able to remember Krishna. And that's it. If we can do that, if we can achieve that, that's the success of our life, isn't it? Of course, one has to give up sinful activities, no? Meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, you know, in order to accelerate the purification, you know. We want to get really into it, you know. I mean, most religions, they don't demand from their followers to follow so many rules, no this, no that. Do whatever you like, it's okay, you know. But Krishna consciousness is more demanding, of course. But the reward is much, much bigger, you know. Krishna is promising us that if we get purified, we will be able to remember Him at the time of death, and then we will. I mean, Ajamila was a very sinful man. And in his youth, he was a nice devotee, you know. He was worshipping the deities along with his father. But he fell down because he saw a very beautiful prostitute embracing a Shudra, and his mind get disturbed because the woman was half naked and she was very attractive, very beautiful. So he could not control his mind, his senses. So he fell down and threw away his wife and was living with the prostitute. And was doing all kinds of sinful activities, stealing, cheating, lying, eating meat, drinking wine, all these things he was doing, you know. So at the time of death, the Yamadutas came for him. But when he saw his son around, he was 80 years old and having a small kid, you know. He was attached to sex life, you know, at that age, you know, 80 years old. Anyway, so when he chanted Narayan, he remembered the original Narayan. And that's why Lord Narayan sent the Vishnu Dutas. Protect my devotee. Don't let the Yamadutas take him to hell. Stop them. So Yamadutas were very much bewildered. Nobody before has stopped us from doing our duty. What is this? Why you're stopping us? We are doing our duty to our Lord, Yamaraj. He's the Supreme Lord. He's the controller of all living entities. They didn't know there is somebody higher than Yamaraj. They thought Yamaraj is the highest authority, you know. But the Vishnuta said, no. Although Yamaduta said, no, he's a first-class candidate for hell. He left his wife, he took a prostitute, he cheat, drink, gamble, steal, you know. What is the name of that sage, materialistic sage, that said that no matter what, you have to eat? Charvak Muni, he said, he materialistic sage, you know, he said, no matter what you do, you must eat food made with ghee every day. Even if you don't have money, borrow, steal, beg, whatever, but you have to eat with ghee every day. At least you know how to eat good, nicely. People now, they don't even know how to eat properly. They eat all kinds of corpses, you know, died animals, and they think this is good food. It's horrible. At least you know to eat, you know, properly. Anyway, so Krishna consciousness means actually to look for eternal happiness. No, the soul by nature is Satchitananda, eternal, blissful, full of knowledge. No, so human life is meant to understand who we are and what is our relationship with God and how to act accordingly. Once we know what is our duty, who am I? I'm eternal servant of Krishna. What is my duty? To love and serve Krishna. No? In the same way that the symbol of purpose has a shape, has a design, and also has a purpose, which is to play music. In the same way, what is the purpose of the sun? To give heat and light to the whole universe. And has a form, has a shape, round shape, So, in the same way, human being, we have a form, a shape, and we have also a purpose. And what is the purpose of human life? That's very important, nothing to know. Purpose of human life is to love God and to return to Him. He's our divine origin. And that will be for us eternal happiness. Now we are changing bodies from life to life, and we are forgetting everything related to our past life. And in every life we forget and start a new life, thinking this is me now. But we have an eternal personality related to Krishna as a servant, and we have to discover that. That's called Swarup Siddhi, a perfection of knowing one's eternal form as a servant of Krishna. One can be a servant of Krishna, can be a friend of Krishna, can have Krishna as a son, or even as a lover or a husband. This relationship are there in the spiritual world with Krishna. And Krishna is Rasaraj. He's the enjoyer of all this rasas, or this wonderful relationship. And we are meant to be enjoyed. Because we are actually subordinate enjoyers. Everybody likes to enjoy, that's natural. But we do it under the protection of Krishna. Like example, you like some food, very tasty food, but you don't eat it like that. You first offer it to Krishna. And then you accept or to enjoy the leftover of Krishna, prasad. That's the way. That's the way, So thank you very much for coming and taking opportunity to hear about Krishna, So if you have any comment or questions, please do. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, just to get the ball started, I had a quick question. Now that we don't want to keep people from prasadam, so I'll be quick. We're saying nobody likes to suffer, and we're all under the weight of birth, death, disease, old age, so many things. I would offer, taking the role of a materialist, that you set up a false measure, that you've created a false expectation of some peaceful world, that we're free from death. Birth, death, disease, old age, that's just life. That's just the flow of life, and I take the bitter with the sweet, and changing of the seasons, and that's just the way it is. I don't expect everything to be happy at every step. I just go with the flow, and that's life. So I'm not in anxiety.
So Maharaj doing the part of a materialistic person.
It comes naturally to me.
Yeah, what you said is common sense. I agree with you.
Maharaj, you have to save me.
But let me tell you something.
Achha.
You can't avoid all these bad things, to be sick or to old or die. That's true. You have to go with the flow because you can't contradict the laws of nature. That's a fact. But there is a way out, spiritually speaking. Materially you are right. There is no way to escape these things. You just have to, like people in South America, they said when you tell them all these words of suffering, they say, okay, we suffer, but we also enjoy. But there's more suffering than enjoyment, They have to work all week to wait for Friday night, you know, Saturday to enjoy drinking, dancing, and going to parties, and then again on Monday go to work, you know, with a headache, and because they drank a lot of alcohol or things or drugs, whatever, you know. And in Mexico they call it la cruda. When you go to work the next day with, you know, headache and because you were drinking all weekend. Cruda means raw.
Rum.
Raw. R-A-W. Raw.
Okay.
Raw. I said, and I'll tell them, la cruda realidad. The raw reality. That you have to, you know, because nobody likes to work, that's a fact. They do it because they need the money to survive, you know. But if people were having enough money, they prefer not to work, you know, isn't it? But even rich people who don't have to work, they still like to work because they need to, because greed, you know, I want to have more. Accumulate, more than needed. Atyahara, that's called. So people are being misled. Prabhupada said majority of people are good. The leaders are bad because they don't give them good advice, you know. No, they don't teach them the right thing. So once Prabhupada went to a program, and very few people attended, and the devotees apologized, Prabhupada, sorry, because last night there was a football game and everybody went to see the game, and those who didn't go, they watch it on TV, so sorry, very few people showed up. Prabhupada said, that's all right. What else can you do? What else they can do? They were taught that way. They don't know anything better. So Prabhupada is saying that people are not guilty because they are not being taught properly by their leaders, you know, how to practice spiritual life, how to... They have a different way of life, more spiritual, more purified way of life. So yes, in one sense, you know, they are not guilty, but at the same time, you know, they deserve better. They deserve better because we are spirit soul. We deserve to be happy forever, you know, because we are part of Krishna. We belong to Him. So it's our nature. You see, Krishna is always happy. Even while killing demon, he's smiling, you know. He's always happy. So we are part of Krishna. So we always should be always happy because we are part of Him, you know. If your mother, father are Chinese, you will be born with Chinese eyes, you know. You can't avoid that. You will inherit that naturally, you know. Isn't? So the same way, we are part of Krishna. Naturally, we should be always happy. But Krishna is offering us a way out of this miserable condition in this material world. He's offering us a way out. And we should take advantage of it. Sometimes people say that devotees are escapists, you know, trying to escape. And what's wrong with that? Imagine some inmates, they are breaking stones in jail, and some people outside the jail, they're looking at them, no? And the inmates, oh, what are you doing outside there? Come here, help us breaking the stones. I mean, the purpose not to break stones in jail, the purpose to get out of jail, you know? Like previously, they used to put, you know, chains on the prisoners, you know, and big ball, you know, on their foot, you know, like in the 20s in the year. And imagine one very rich millionaire criminal, he's in jail, but his chains are made of gold, you know. So he look at the other inmates, my chains are made of gold, yours are of iron. What is the use of have gold in chains in prison? The idea is to get out of prison, not to be chained with gold in prison. So in the same way, people don't know that purpose of life is not just to be, you know, better in this world, you know. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not the purpose. The purpose to get out, you know. So we should take advantage of that. because Krishna is very friendly, very merciful. He's giving us knowledge how to get out of this miserable condition of birth and death repeatedly, you know. You have a question, please.
Thank you.
Maharaj, you gave some examples how Chinese person has certain eyes, and so their child will also be a certain way. Krishna is the enjoyer of everything, and we have the desire to enjoy in this world, and so it is something we inherit from him, right?
Yes.
And also we see that Krishna is enjoying in so many ways, and he's also wanting us to come back to him to enjoy with him.
That's
so enjoyment
right.
is fundamental to us, is it not?
It is, of course, definitely.
Right? So then why do we teach things like renunciation or detachment or in some way trying to give up things rather than enjoy everything?
Ramante yoginante satyananda chidatmani. The yogis, they enjoy also from Rama, from the Lord. They get Ananda Mayobhya Sat. The Vedanta Sutra said that the Absolute Truth is full of enjoyment. And he expanded himself in so many living entities to increase his enjoyment. But the problem is, we don't know where the real enjoyment is. We think enjoyment is in this and that, you know. But that's our mental concoction. We are listening to the mind. Well, the mind is misleading us. So we have to stop listening to the mind and listen to Krishna. I mean, materially speaking, in the same way you don't want a headache or toothache, but still you get it sometime. In the same way, the material happiness you are meant to have, it will come to you. It doesn't matter if you endeavor little or much, you know. So in that sense, one should endeavor to get the real spiritual happiness. That's worthy of our endeavor, of our effort. But material happiness comes and goes according to your karma, you know. Whatever you are allotted to get because of your good or bad deeds, you will get. But one should look for happiness that is not from this world. Spiritual happiness is not from this world. And Krishna's offering. You can experience even in this life. You don't have to die to experience it. You can experience it now. And we know devotees, while doing their chanting and remembering Krishna and seva to the Lord, sometimes Krishna will give him a drop of spiritual happiness, a little drop. Oh, they know, oh, there is much more. I want more. One becomes spiritually greedy, you know. Yes. Give the mic to the lady, please. Oh. Hare Krishna.
So in the lecture you were talking about that we are a soul, we are not a body, and we change it like often.
Please.
We change the body often, like soul goes from one body to another body.
Yes.
But soul is a concept. It's not. We can't experience soul. I mean, if I go from one place to another, I don't use my soul. I use my legs. If
Yes.
I cook my food, I don't cook by soul. I use my hands.
Okay.
So it's hard to not attached to the body,
Yeah.
and how to experience, but at the same time how to experience the soul.
Very good question. Very good question. How to experience that we are souls?
Correct.
Because when we do things, we do with our hand or legs, we walk, you know, so we are using our body to do things. How to understand actually we are spirit soul, different from the body? It's very simple. Even children, when they speak, they said, oh, my hand, my knee, my nose. I once went to school with children, and I was, okay, now point to your heart. Okay, now point to your left arm, like that. And then I told them, point to yourself. They didn't know where to put the finger. Some put it here, some put it here, But the fact is, no children, when they speak, they said, I am hand. They say, my hand, my foot. So there is a difference between the owner of the body and the body itself. When you speak, you say, "Oh, my mind is giving me trouble. I can't sleep. I'm very much worried about this." So you have a mind, but you are not the mind. There is an object and subject. The body is the object, and we are the subject. We are living inside the body. Unless the soul is inside the body will not have life, will not be alive, will be dead. What keep the body alive is the presence of the soul inside the body. It's like you put a globe in your hand and move your fingers. It looks like the globe is alive. But no, it's the hand inside of it makes it look alive. In the same way, this body looks alive, walk and move. And why? Because the soul is living inside the body. And when this body dies, the soul doesn't die, because it's eternal. Yam yam bapismaram bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kautika sadbhava bhavita. Krishna says, whatever you think about at the time of death, that will achieve undoubtedly. So the mind carries the soul to the next body, according to the last thought we have at the time of death. So the soul is real, is there. Unless the soul is in the body can't be alive. That's simple. The spiritual spark in the body makes the body alive. And what is the symptom that there is soul in the body? To be conscious, to be conscious, to be alive. That symptom that you are a soul, you are living inside the body, but you are not the body. That's a very difficult subject for most people to understand, because once I went to a doctor, I was explaining this to him. He said, "How can you say that? If you cut yourself, blood comes out, you feel pain. How can you say you are not the body?" and I told him that, because we are inside the body, we feel the pain and pleasure of the body. But if the soul comes out of the body, nobody cares for the body. They want to bury it fast, because after a few days it starts to smell bad. Yes.
Thank you for a wonderful class, Bhakti Sundar Goswami. Hare Krishna. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you.